Welcome, everyone, to the webinar today, How to Get Your Entire Home Organized in a Year. I'm really going to run this like a mini planning day. So let's get a couple of things out in the open first. First of all, you are in the right place if you already have the productive home solution or if you don't have the productive home solution. You're going to be watching the webinar differently depending on which orientation you have, but I want to address this is for those of you that already have the program and those of you that don't have the program. Secondly, I've been doing quite a bit of reflecting in the last really 4 to 6 weeks about this program in general inside of Organize 365, my growth and development in the last 2 to 3 years as I've been going through the PhD, and also where the professional organization industry as a whole is going for people who want to get their household organized. And in getting ready for this webinar yesterday, I redid our homepage. So if you go see it, I also created the audio of me reading through the homepage. It's 5 minutes. I can't figure out where to post it, but it starts out with lies, you guys, lies. I just feel like we have been sold lies by marketers and influencers and TV professionals and even those of us trying to put our best foot forward when other people come over, like clean up before other people come over. And I just think that we need to take a deep breath and give ourselves grace and give our family members grace and give our friends grace and just give the world grace. Like the idea that we would live in these perfectly curated, organized homes is a marketing initiative that started in the 50s. It literally, the idea of the housemaker was created from marketers. They literally created a market to sell to. We have been sold to, and we have bought that idea that organization is something you could buy at the store, and the only thing you could buy at the store is containers. So the way we have been sold organization is you must need these containers in order to look organized, which means you must be organized. And that is such a lie. It's such a lie. The truth of the matter is organization is super simple, and it is all about aligning your environment to match the phase of life you're in for the goals that you have for the next phase of life. That's it. That's it. And so weekly organization, which, if you had parents that had you do this as a kid or you're organizationally inclined, after your school week, you would get up on Saturday, you would clean your room, you would make your bed, you would start your laundry, you would do your homework, you would reset your plan for school on Sunday. At least this is what I did. I know nobody did this, but this is what I would do. And then I would do my school week. And then as an adult, what I did was I would get up on Saturday morning, I'd do all the laundry, I'd run the dishes, I would make sure all of our housework was done, we'd do something fun as a family. And then Sunday night, before my husband went back to work, I would plan out what I was going to do the next week, when I was going to go to the grocery store, when I was going to run errands, what extracurricular activities the kids had, what supplies we needed. And I did it on Sunday because I was planning out our time and our money. So that's your weekly cadence. This is all the Sunday basket. This is where you should start. We're not going to talk about the Sunday basket in this webinar. I'm going to assume you all have a Sunday basket. I know some of you have a DIY version. Get rid of that. Get the actual Sunday basket. Anyways, you need something that just does that weekly cycle. And even that weekly cycle, I mean, that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of effort. Yes, I started the recording. Thanks for reminding me. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. But that is the thing that keeps you from going backwards. Until you have that Sunday basket in place, what happens is you get to a Tuesday and you're like, shoot, there's a birthday party Wednesday after school that I forgot about. Now I have to go get a gift for my kid to take to that. And I had already scheduled something else on Wednesday. So now I need to see if my mom or my husband or somebody else can drive that kid because I'm taking this kid here. And now you're doing all this rework. The Sunday basket makes you always looking forward and proactively anticipating and saving any of that rework that you would need to do. Once you go from just reacting to everything all the time to proactively planning your week, you then will get some time and capacity. And that is when you need to harness that time first to match your environment to the phase of life you're in, so that then you could take that time and together, both of those times are given to what you're uniquely gifted and created to do. Now, interestingly, as I've been thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, I already made the decision I was going to up level the productive home solution. And I was like, okay, I've got some time. I'm going to listen to some podcasts. So I turned on some podcasts that I used to listen to all the time. One was Brooke Castillo's life coach school. She had a couple podcasts drop, so I listened to one of those. And the other one was Eleanor Beaton, and she's a business coach, and I like her podcast as well. So I listened to these, you guys, both episodes. They're linked on the homepage. Both episodes. Eleanor's like, you need to take the summer to organize your household so that you can be profitable in your business fourth quarter. I'm like, how many times have I said that? And then, no joke, Brooke Castillo, who had like, I don't know, a bazillion $1 million life coaching school, like she's the biggest life coach of all time financially, decided to stop working last December and take some time off before she figured out what she was going to do next. I kid you not. This woman that has more money than God, basically. What do you think she did with this time off? What do you think she did with this time off? Completely reorganized her house, her entire house. And when she was done with that, I was like, I bet she did the photos. She did the photos. I was like, unbelievable. It's like if you give a woman, any woman anywhere in the world, no money, bazillions of dollars, like you give them time, you know what they're going to do? They're going to nest. They're going to nest and organize our house. It's just like in our DNA. We're just like, oh, you gave us time. I think I will go clean out a drawer. I think I will go organize a room. I will take inventory of everything I have and I will put it every place that needs to go. Here's the thing, Eleanor Beaton, myself, Brooke Castillo, when you give us time and you say, I'm going to give you some sabbatical time at home, we're going to like take care of house. We are going to clean and organize our house. That may be you. Maybe all you need is the time. I don't think so, but maybe all you need is the time. That's all I need is the time. Most people, though, doesn't matter how much time you give them, they don't know how to do it. Like they could get certain spaces done, and then they're like, well, I don't really know how to organize that space. So I'm just going to move on to what I'm uniquely gifted and created to do, or social or something else. And you don't get all the way through your home organizing. First of all, you are not alone. Like in 2021, before I started the PhD, I did academic research, and we have redone this study 4 times. So we've had 5,000 people give us responses. The first one was 1,000, but we've had 5,000 people give us responses to this study. And the numbers are the same every single time. Are you do you believe organization is a learnable skill? 87% of people, yep, organization is a learnable skill. Great. Are you personally organized? No. Are your family spaces organized? No. Is your paper organized? No. Are your storage spaces organized? No. Like, this is the percentage of people who say yes, not the percentage of people who say no. 18% of people say, yeah, my paper's organized. 1 in 5. And that's the best. That's the best rating. So if you're like, we're going to go through this and I'm going to have you self-rate yourself like in a pre-test type, like here's where I am before I do the productive home solution. If you're not saying I'm totally organized, you're totally normal. There's so few people that are totally organized. So you are totally, totally normal. The other thing I want to say is that like learning the skill of organizing, like organizing your bedroom as a child, organizing your condo or your house when you leave home for the first time, or organizing your house when you have little kids, is completely different than organizing your house with middle school kids or when you're an empty nester or going into retirement or moving into your parents' home and caring for them. Like all of these different phases of life need different organization. And so you may get really organized in one phase of life, but then you're not organized in the next phase of life. And so that is also normal. And then the last caveat before I start giving you the actual plan is this. Last summer, I really looked at the Sunday basket. And I looked at the workbook that we sent you and the videos that we sent you and the things that we sent you to do the Sunday basket. And I realized that if you did not follow Organize 365, if you were not already listening to the podcast, if you didn't know who I was, if you weren't watching me do it on Instagram and you got the Sunday basket in the mail, like let's say from Amazon or something, and you opened it up, it wasn't a great experience. And no one was complaining. No one was complaining about that. No one's complaining about the productive home solution either. But as a teacher, when you teach something over and over and over again, you're looking at the difference between 4 different levels of teaching. So the first level of learning is you learn a skill yourself. The second level of learning is that you can, let me think if I've got these levels right. The first level is you can learn the skill yourself. The second level is you can take that skill and you can apply it in a different environment. The third level is you would be able to walk somebody else through doing that skill side by side with you. And then the last level would be you could teach somebody to teach that skill to somebody else. So as a teacher, when I'm looking at the Sunday basket, when I'm looking at the productive home solution, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I've learned how to do this. Can I get you to learn how to do this? Can I get you to the point where you could show somebody else how to do it? And then can I take it to the point where you can then teach it independent of me in our certification? What I realized when I did the Sunday basket was I started with step 3 in teaching you how to do the Sunday basket. So you got the box, you got the slash pockets. I was like, great. Here's how we label the purple slash pockets. Here's how we label the blue one. That's step 3. Step 1 is go find all your paper. Step 2 is get rid of everything you don't want and divide everything that's left. Reference for binders, actionable for Sunday basket. Okay, now you have your actionable paper. Let's make the Sunday basket. I am so sorry. I did the same thing with the productive home solution. Now, in my defense, no one has a program like this that's teaching you the skill of organizing. So it's hard to figure out where I'm lacking in teaching when I'm comparing it to nothing, right? So in the productive home solution, let's say you're in the closet and you already have the program. I'm like, here's how I do the closet. Here are some tips for the closet. Here's an example of me doing the closet. Okay, let's start with shirts, pants, shoes. Exactly like I did in the Sunday basket. Purple slash pockets, blue slash pockets, green slash pockets. Do you know what we're missing? Step 1 and step 2. And I was like, when I am a professional organizer, when I go in your house and I was going to organize your closet, there are things I would have done before we got to organizing the shirts. I would have sat down at the kitchen table with you and I would have said, okay, today we're going to do the closet. And in the closet, we're going to find a lot of clothes. We're going to find clothes that are of past lives that you've led, current clothes that look and feel great. And also, we're going to find that there are some things that you're now doing, hats that you're wearing that you don't even have clothing representation of. So first things first, let's talk about what kind of clothing you need to have in your closet before we're in your closet, before you're looking at what kind of clothing do you need? And I'm going to create these worksheets where you can print out as many as you want. So you'll print out one and you'll say, okay, I'm an employee. Hey, what do you need to be an employee? Shirts, pants, shoes, accessories, makeup. What do you need? Okay, I'm that. All right, I'm a grandma. What do you need to be a grandma? Okay, I'm a PhD student. What do you need for that? Okay, I play pickleball. What do you need for that? Okay, I might attend a wedding. What do you need for that? And you're going to end up with all of these sheets that I would have done with you verbally as a professional organizer. And you're going to walk through like, in a perfect world, if money were no object, these are all the roles I'm playing. These are all the clothes I would need. Now, let's go in our closet and see how many of these things we can fit into our list and what we actually need to get more of and what we need to let go of. So more of that thinking about why are we organizing this space? What is the ultimate goal of this space before we actually get into the organizing? For those of you that are in the productive home solution, when you do the kitchen, which everybody does the kitchen, everybody's kitchen is great. Like raise your hand, like your kitchen is like the bomb diggity. The reason why is because I start with why. I make you map out the zones. I have you think about the purpose of your kitchen. And then I literally step by step walk through all 21 spaces in your kitchen to organize and exactly how to organize them. The whole program is going to be more like that. Not necessarily 21 individual videos, but you're going to go into that space. You're going to be like, okay, here's why I need to organize this space. Here are all the things I should be thinking about before I organize the space. Okay, now here's how to practically organize the space. This is what you can't, retailers can't monetize this. They can't be like, all right, we're going to sell you how to think about your playroom. We're going to sell you how to think about your storage room. Like, no, they just want to sell you the storage containers, right? We do need containers. We do need shelving, but we are not going to need, we need to think about why first. All right, so we are going to move to this printable. Anna, if you would go ahead and drop that link in the chat again, and thank you for being on live. Okay, so there is a link over there in the chat, or there will be in a minute. If you don't have this, just email customer service. If you're watching it live and you don't have it, don't worry about it. You can just watch this as if it's like a live podcast and go back and do the worksheet with the replay. The printable that I gave you is, and this is a working document, so I'm not 100% sure this is exactly, this might not be exactly how it's going to end up at the end, but this is my plan right now. Thank you, Virginia. This is my plan right now of how I'm going to do some reorganization of the productive home solution. So when you look at this focus area, this column right here, this focus area, This is what we're going to be talking about in the Productive Home Solution. The Productive Home Solution is available as an a la carte purchase. You can buy just the Productive Home Solution if you want. The bundle we have right now is called the Complete Home Organization Bundle. And so everything that you see in the supplies list is included in the Complete Home Organization Bundle. And right now it's $1,000 savings because the introductory pricing is an additional $500 off. There's $500 savings in the bundle, and then there's an additional $500 off right now. So you're going to get 3 planning days. You're going to get your binders, and I'll tell you why those are in there twice, but you're just going to get one set of each of the binders. You're going to get the Embrace add-on experience. You're going to get the Holiday Blitz. And then there are a couple of other things we've thrown in there, like the 2.5-year planner and a couple of the books. If you look at this column, this fast track column over on this side, this is a 1-year plan. It's a 52-week plan, but I did it in 9 months, and I know a lot of people do it in 9 months. So if you're looking of how would I do it in 9 months, starting here the end of August, right here in December, we're going to add on a couple of binders instead of staying in the storage area. Then in the spring, when we're doing all of our communal spaces, we're going to add in a couple of binders here. And at the end, when we collectively move into binders, you're going to just move the Embrace experience up to Memorial Day weekend. So if you do the fast hack, if you move through faster, you'll be done in 9 months. The other column that we have here is your self-rating. So I want to talk about your self-rating. So one of the things that you do a lot in academia is you do a pre-test, post-test, like where is your audience or where are your participants before the intervention and after the intervention? We do this in school as well. You could do a pre-test at the beginning of the year and then at the end of the year, or when you do the standardized testing on a regular basis, just showing that teachers are actually teaching along the way. And I thought it would be kind of fun as I go through now in detail what's in the Productive Home Solution, if you kind of give yourself a self-rating. Now remember, when people rate themselves on this, they rate themselves very low. 1 would be, this space has never been organized. I have absolutely no idea how to get this space organized. Like, I don't know, teach me like I'm in preschool. Step 5 would be like, oh my gosh, I love this space. It's so organized. When people come over, I drag them in there to see it because it's like perfect. Like, I'm done, teacher. Come check my paper. Give me my gold star. So 1 to 5. Pretty much we're going to rate ourselves 2, 3, or 4 in most of these. Very few areas, even in my own house, I would rate as a 5. Like, I need to redo these videos. I'm like, oh, I got to go organize those spaces. You guys, my house is organized, but it's not video organized. Like, I'm going to have to make it a little bit prettier before I turn on a video camera. You know what I mean? So I'm like, my whole house is probably sitting at a 4. Maybe a couple areas are at a 3 because I've been busy with the PhD, and I'll get those up to a 4 soon. I really try to go for a 5. My goal really isn't a 5. My goal is probably a 4. So don't make this harder than it needs to be, or use this as an exercise to make yourself feel bad about your health. I want you to really use this as an exercise of like, oh, I'm doing really good in this area. I could use more focus in that area. One of the changes we made, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, whenever we went from the 100-day program to the Productive Home Solution and spread this out to 52 weeks, was one of the problems with the 100-day program was every 4 months we would start over again in the kitchen. So anybody in the program, like their kitchen is like amazing, and the rest of their house is like wah, wah, because either it wasn't in the program at all, or they just lost steam every single time we got to the end of the round, and then we started over again and over again and over again in the kitchen. So, all right. So let's talk about these three chunks of time. We have planning day in August all the way through the end of the year. That is what we call fall. Then we have the last week of December all the way through the beginning of May, right before Mother's Day. That is what we call the new year because it's the January plan. And then we have from Mother's Day to before planning day in August, and that's what we call summer. This is your summer plan. Summer is heavy in paper. That's why you see all the green. New Year is heavy in your family and communal spaces. That's why you see all the blue. And the fall is heavy in your personal, pink, and your storage, purple. I am an odd bird, maybe a cuckoo bird, actually. I'm an odd bird. Like my uniqueness is household management and productivity and understanding how we use our households for productivity to the point that I literally understand the energy that's inside of households, especially in America, every single week of the year. Like you could pick any week of the year and I'll be like, oh, this is what you'll be thinking about reactively. Here's what you should be thinking about proactively. Here's how much energy you have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's comical how much I have really focused on this. So this plan is in a specific order and will literally match your energy. If you follow this plan the way I have it laid out, you will have the highest chance of success because it will match your energy. So here we are. We're going to start in August with planning day. Everybody wants to plan. It doesn't matter how old you are or if you have children. We are all ready to plan for our fall because in the United States, we have been conditioned in August to get ready to go back to school. And as soon as Labor Day happens, then school is on for reals. It does not matter when your school starts. It can start August 1st. It does not matter. Once we have Labor Day and the pools are closed, like game on, we are like for real now taking the spelling tests that count at school. We have been conditioned that way as Americans. Like that is the way we are trained. How this works for adults, I now realize now that I'm in corporate America is like all summer, good luck. Like good luck having any meeting where everybody is going to attend the meeting from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Somebody is always on vacation somewhere. You schedule all your, schedulable surgeries. Like it all happens in the summer. Nobody is there. And then the week after Labor Day, man, every single team member is there, coffee or water in hand, and they're like, okay, let's go. We gotta make the money. We got to get ready for fourth quarter. We got to bring in the profit. The reason why Black Friday is called Black Friday is because that is the week of the year where retailers go from running in the red to profitable in the black. Like for 11 months of the year, most retailers are running at a deficit. It's only the income that comes in December that makes them profitable. That's why it's called Black Friday. And all retailers are running that way. Well, all companies are running that way towards a year end. So when you get to September or when you get to August, you're ready to plan. You're ready to make a plan. You've been conditioned to make a plan. This is your highest planning energy. It is not January. It's actually August. So you're ready to make your plan. This is a great time in September to be focusing on you. Now, there's somebody on our team this last week when we were having teamwork. She says, first things first, me first. She says this to her kids. First things first, mom's first. Like I have to get my shoes on. I have to get everything ready before we leave the house, or we're going into Target. First thing first, mom's first. Like if you're good while mom gets her stuff, then maybe you'll be able to get something too. And we all laughed about it, but it's so true. Like first things first, you're first. When we're launching on this year of organizing, first thing first, you're first. Your closet, your bathroom, your bedroom, your books, you, like the things that are just you. And the reason why I love to start with you is for a couple of reasons. You know, they say like, if the airplane is going down, put your oxygen mask on first. We've heard that a million times, right? Well, you need to be able to be breathing oxygen. Like you need to be able to wake up in an organized space, go to bed in an organized space, know what clothes you're going to wear the next day without having to make a decision, have clothes in your closet that support the things that you're doing, the way that your body feels, your wellness goals. Like you should start your day and end your day taking care of you. One of the things that I realized as I was going through my PhD and I was looking at care of others and what's it called? Phases of life, is that psychologists study childhood, they study adolescence, and they study old age, but they don't really study anything from 20 to 70. Like they just don't even care. Like there are no stages of life, and they're like, it's this huge void. I can't even believe it. And what I realized was until 18, from birth to 18, that and you take care of a child is called childcare. At some point in old age, when your parents or grandparents need you to care for them, it's called elder care. Like you care for your elders, you care for your children because they can no longer care for themselves, right? So what's the big whole gap in the middle? Self-care. And we have been sold, again, lies. We have been sold as Americans this idea that self-care is like a thing that you go to the spa for. It's like taking a bubble bath. Again, marketers can only sell you what they can market, right? They can't sell you a feeling. They can't sell you something that you can't trade them dollars for. So self-care must be something you purchase. No, you guys, self-care is when you are an independent person and you take care of yourself. You take care of a child until they're 18, 20, 25, whatever. At some point, that child then becomes independent and is responsible for their own care, their self. And then at some point when they're older, they lose some of their independence and they need to rely on others to care for them, elder care. Self-care is taking care of yourself. Now, I'm going to be honest. The first time I really organized my closet was in 2012 when I created Organize 365. My kids were 10 and 12. Do you know how many times I'd done their closets? 35. Like I had not gone through my closet for me in the 12 years I had been a parent. I'd been taking care of their closet. Our closet is just as important as our kids' closet. Our bedroom is not an alternative storage dumping ground. That's what mine was. Like you couldn't even walk in there. There were so many undone projects. There were things I was hiding from my kids. There were things that weren't safe for my kids. There were things I didn't know what to do with. I was literally living in a storage room was my bedroom. I turned my bedroom back into a bedroom. That was a huge feat because that meant I had to clear out my storage room to move all this stuff to the storage room. You know what I'm talking about. When you're done just with the first couple weeks, you just get done with the first couple weeks of the productive home solution and you get to the beginning of October, your bedroom is organized, your bathroom is organized, your closet is organized, which means you go to bed organized and you wake up organized. And you stop having so much decision fatigue and making so many decisions before you even start your day. Okay, so this is September. I've extended the closet to 2 weeks because I really feel like with the kitchen, we're so good at organizing the kitchen because I'm so explicit in what you need to do as a professional organizer. I am giving myself the permission and you the permission to give you the direction that you need to truly get your closet where you need it to be and give you the grace and the time to actually get it done in those 2 weeks. The bathroom is everything you need to get ready. Right now, inside of the Productive Home Solution, we have a lot of medical things in the bathroom. Those are going to move to the medical weeks, just a little change for those of you in there. And then your bedroom, really getting that bedroom to be what you need it to be. Books are something that like you have or you don't have books. Maybe you have ebooks, maybe you have regular books. I figure you probably have books because we're the same person. And people who are professionally development minded have books. We just love books. So I figure books is probably something you need to organize. However, if there's anything on this list where you're like, well, I don't really have that thing, like I can't have an exact map of every single thing that you'll have in your house, but it'll be close, right? It'll be close. So if you don't have books, you can skip on and have an extra week for your household administration office, or you could just move ahead faster. So go ahead and feel free to customize this plan. Next section, the other thing is we're going to kind of create sections. So this section here is going to be our personal section. So this whole week, or this whole month, I should say, this 5 weeks, while we're doing our closet, bedroom, bathroom, and books, when you get to the bathroom, you might jump back into the closet. You might jump around a little bit. All this is going to be very related. Then we're going to move on to our next grouping. And our next grouping is going to be our household administration, the things that we do when we are household managers. And that is going to start with your home office. Now, you may or may not have an actual dedicated office space. You might have a bookshelf. You might have things all over the house, but we're going to talk about things that are related to your home office. Then we're going to do some things that you don't necessarily see, but we definitely want to get organized, like your computer, your phone, your passwords, your email, your calendar. And these things are going to be delivered however it makes the most sense. Like this calendar is a 1-hour video where I literally walk you through how and why I do everything in my calendar. The email is actually a 10-lesson ebook. And we have it as 10 individual lessons right now, but we're going to put it back in the ebook so it's just easier to print out and check off and do. The computer, the phone, the passwords, these are multiple individual videos, like maybe 3 or 4 videos. So there's going to be one new overarching video here that's going to talk about your role as household administrator and how we have all these different things we need to do. And then once you watch the new video, you'll go in and you'll do the actual weeks. So some of the videos that we currently have in the program will stay. Some of the videos will leave, and there will be some new videos. And I was thinking about this because, whenever I do these changes, we as adults are like, oh, but I love those videos, or I haven't watched them all, or maybe I need to go back and watch them. But as teachers, like if you're a teacher, like this is my 11th year of teaching the Productive Home Solution, because we market and sell this as a lifetime membership, which it is for those of you that are in it, and you joined whenever you joined and you could keep going in the course, you're like, oh, but I like the video from whatever, 2016. As a teacher teaches something year after year after year, they look at how they taught it the last year. They always make modifications and then they teach it again the next year. So it's been 3 years. I've done this 4 times. I'm stepping in and I'm teaching it live again. So some things will go and some things will come and I'll add some things. And then it'll run on replay for a couple of years. And then I'm sure I'll step in and I'll run it live again. Also, as we do, for those of you that are currently in the program, as we make these changes and modifications, we're going to move these things from the app that they're currently in to a course. And so when you're in the course, yay, we're going to be able to check off again when you have completed a module or a lesson so you can see where you are. So that'll be a difference in the delivery. And as you see things moving from the app into the course, you'll be like, oh, this has been checked. This is new now. This is new now. This is moving forward. And let me just give you a timeline on this also for those of you that are going through it. Here's my goal. My goal is when we get to planning day, this personal module will be ready for you to use. By the time you get to the end of this module will be ready for you to use. And by the time you get to the end of this module, the rest of this whole thing will be ready for you to use. And by the time we get to the next planning day, I mean, if all the stars align, everything will be ready after that. So just like a teacher would normally be teaching in real time and making modifications and improvements, that's how I will do it. In order for me to make all of these changes, I would have to stop everything I'm doing and only do this for 6 weeks. And that's just not tenable for me or for the team. So please give me the grace, and I'm giving you the grace to level this up in real time. All right. So now you have your stuff organized and you have your household administration done. We are now at the end of October. We should be about the end of October. So we're going to do the holiday blitz. I know you can't read this. This is why you guys have the printable yourself. We're at the holiday blitz, okay? Everyone is doing the holiday blitz. This is a great time to invite your family and friends to join in with what you're doing so that they can be proactive in the holidays. When I leveled this up, I added in the Holiday Blitz bundle. And the reason why is because as we go further in, you're going to see I'm using the Holiday Blitz bundle further in the program. So I want you to get the Holiday Blitz bundle. You're going to be adding this to your Sunday basket to make the rest of the year easier. And then we're adding in a new week here where we're going to really focus on gifts, gift wrap, cards, like everything holiday related. We're going to take 2 weeks for this. So that is going to be another chunk. So again, you're going to see, one new video come out here and talk to you about these 2 weeks, and then you'll have the things related in these 2 weeks. And then we're going to end the year with one more video for storage organization. And we have 6 weeks for storage organization. Here's why. Storage organization takes a long time. It's a long time. I've always put storage organization at the end of the year because one, you're just ready to declutter things. You don't really want to mess up the main areas of the house because people might be stopping by for the holidays and all that kind of thing. If you celebrate Christmas like I do, you're emptying out the storage room and moving some things up and displaying them so you have some more room to move around the storage room that you're in. So that's why I've always done the storage room at the end of the year. I have 6 weeks here. How I originally did this 6 years ago was we had this program called From Hot Mess to Organized Storage. And I created like 30 individual videos that moved you from a decluttered storage room to an organized storage room. Then we moved to the Productive Home Solution and we made that like one big checklist. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, oh, I see where I messed up. The problem is I am trying to anticipate what box you're going to open and what to do with that box when it should be like the closet. So I'm going to create again an overall video. There are a whole bunch of things that you can find in your storage room. And what are you going to find? Let's talk through what you're going to find, what you're going to do with it before you're in the storage room, so that when you come across that, you know what to do with it. So like, for example, let's say you're doing your grandparents' storage room because you're helping your parents with the estate. They have passed and you're going through this storage room. You're going to run into like everything, right? You're going to run into tools, furniture, photos, clothing, decorations, household decorations, on and on and on. The more global decisions you can make at the start of the project, the easier the project is. So every time you find a photo, it's going to go in a box, it's going to go on a shelf, you're going to decide what to do with it later. Every time you find a tool, it's going to go in the pile to sell. You don't want to keep any of them, but you know they have financial value. Every time you run into clothes, you're going to put that in a pile. Once you get all of the clothes in one area, you're going to pick one bin worth of clothes to keep, and you're going to make those into teddy bears, and everything else is going to be donated. Can you see how much easier just now, just saying that? It's going to make it so much easier to do that storage room because you've already just made these decisions. Now it's like an Easter egg hunt. You just need to go find the right things and put them in the right bins, right? The storage program is already top notch as far as how to set up a storage room. Like we've had so many of you set up the storage room, literally move, and it is the first thing that's organized in a new house. When you set up your storage room, the way we set up storage rooms, it will be organized forever. It's awesome. However, the stuff in the bins, I think that's where I have not done enough teaching. So this is going to look a little different when we get into the new format. You're going to have a couple now. You're going to have the existing. We already have like 3 or 4 good videos right now. They're like how to set up the storage room. I'm going to set up this new one with the new printable that I talked about. Now here you can see here it says weeks 14 to 17 held for a storage project, 1 room per season. 1 room per season, meaning do your basement, do your attic. You don't do your basement, your attic, your storage, like 1 room per season. You've got plenty of time to do it. Here's where you can start to fast track. Let's say either you want to skip storage altogether, or you just want to superficial do storage, or you're going to take a week off of work and you're going to get the storage done here. Now you can add in your household operations binder and your household reference binder in the weeks that we're still doing the storage room. These binders are specific. Household operations is really a lot related to holidays, so it's going to be a great time to update that one. And household reference is related to anything you're going to find in the storage room or a file cabinet anyway. Again, great time to update those binders. This is your fall plan. This is your fall plan. By the time that we get to the next planning day, my assumption is that you are going to have your personal spaces organized. You're going to have your home office and administration organized. You will have enjoyed the holidays, possibly for the first time ever. And you're going to have organized 1 storage space. Okay. All right, let's go on to the new year. So the last week of December, we are going to do planning. We're going to plan for the new year. We're going to plan January until the beginning of May. So January, February, March, and April is what we're going to plan. Again, your planning energy will be high, not as high as it is for the fall. The fall is actually the highest planning energy, but you will be high on planning. What you'll be higher in is you will be higher in organizing energy in January than you are actually in September. And so we are going to have you do quite a bit of organizing communal spaces. You're going to see over here in the fast track, you're going to add on the financial binder, you're going to add on the medical binder here, and you're also going to grab the kitchen productivity and profitability blitz from here in August, and you're going to pull it up here into January if you want to get this done in 9 months. People who could get this done in 9 months typically have not been living in their households as long and possibly do not have as many caregiving responsibilities. These communal storage communal areas, kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms, family rooms, living rooms, dining rooms, laundry rooms, all of those, the high traffic area. These high traffic areas are more challenging for people to organize who have people living with them. If you're living in a multi-generational family, or if you're living, if you have children, these are going to be more challenging to organize just because you have more humans using those spaces, especially if you have kids, because they literally undo everything you do as you're doing it. You know it's true. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So we're going to start January in the kitchen. Like I said, we're still going to do 3 weeks in the kitchen. This is not broken. I am not fixing things that are not broken. The way that we organize the kitchen is unlike how anybody else organizes the kitchen. It is amazing. I will be adding a few new videos and a new worksheet to this as well. So while you think about how your kitchen is organized, you're going to be able to get sheets like, okay, do I need a lunch packing station? Yes. Okay, then let's think about that. Do I need a drink station? Yes. Let's think about that. Do I do holiday decorating? Do I do grilling? Am I, where the holidays happen? Like all of these things that we use our kitchens for, we're going to think through all the different ways that we use our kitchens so that when we then dive into organizing our kitchen, we know what we need to keep it all and what we need to keep in the kitchen versus just in the house. New, this is new. When we are done with the kitchen, what we had in the past years was we had an additional week of like pantry and stuff like that. I just don't think we need it. I'm not your menu guru. I'm not your pantry guru. You're not coming to me for that. So I added in a family memories week. This was, well, frankly, it was everywhere. It was a little bit in the or it is currently a little bit in the storage room. It was a little bit in the family room. It was a little bit in the living room. It was all over the place. And I do think one of my uniquenesses, because I did creative memories for so long and I'm so memory oriented, is I have a lot of ideas of how we could save our things and enjoy them and not just have them in storage rooms. So I pulled all that family memories into 1 week. My idea a year from now, and you can feel free to do it now if you're totally done with this, but a year from now, that's when you would kick off a photo organizing program. If you wanted to do the photo organizing program, you would start that at the end of January and just run that until it's done, which could be years, by the way. So that's family memories. Then the first week of February, you guys, I'm just bringing you along with me. We're all going to do our taxes with the Super Bowl. I don't know. It's when I always do it. It's my thing. I move the holiday blitz bundle at the beginning of January. I use the blue basket for any travel or trips that we're doing. And I move the green basket at the beginning of the year to taxes. So I start collecting anything tax related in that green basket. By the time you get to Super Bowl weekend, you should have all of your tax paperwork from whoever needs to send it to you. So it's time to organize it either for yourself or to send your CPA. So we're going to focus on taxes. That'll be a new week, new video. Then the next 4 weeks, we're going to do those spaces that you would have guests in. So your family room, your living room, dining room, your entryway back hall, your spare bedroom, bathroom. This is all that time where we're going to get organized in those general spaces. Again, if you either do these faster or don't need to do these, this is where you're going to hop over and you're going to move your binders here instead of doing them in the summer. I am leaving in this financial oriented week of garage sales and selling items. Even if you're not selling items yourself personally while you're getting organized in your home, when you do an estate, you will definitely want to have that information. Then we go to the spring break blitz. This is a blitz we used to do publicly, but it's now only in the Productive Home Solution. The spring break blitz really walks you day by day through setting and completing a big project. And then we're going to have what I call a family operations month. So again, I'm creating, this one is going to be kitchen. This is going to be memories. Then we're going to do taxes. Then we're going to do all your communal spaces. And these are kind of one-offs. You could skip these or take them if you want to. And then we're going to do family operations. And I already have a change. So on line 35, instead of linen closets, this is going to say extra closets. Like I said, this is a work in process. As I start recording the videos, hearing responses, seeing what's going on, I make modifications. So while these communal spaces are where your family or friends would spend their time, these are the behind the scenes operating that run your household. So your laundry room and cleaners, any disaster preparations you need to have depending on where you live, taking care of electronics, and taking care of all your extra closets. We end this one with all of our on the go, organizing your car, and organizing your travel. All right, moving on to what we call summer. So we're going to have planning day the week of Mother's Day. And then we're going to move into what we call summer. So here in May is where we have outdoor spaces, anything gardening, yard work, outside areas, storage and shed. We've got the Memorial Day Blitz that was created for the Productive Home Solution. Again, it's a weekend fast track of these areas if you want to put them all into the Memorial Day Blitz. Over on the fast track, you can add these things in, or you could take 2 more weeks for an additional storage area. And then you are going to do your Embrace Experience Memorial Day weekend instead of the last weekend in June so that you could be done for the summer. Then here in the summer, we're going to kick off a bunch of 2-week sessions. So we've got 2 weeks for household reference, 2 weeks for medical. These 2 weeks are household operations and 2 weeks for financial. The Productive Home Solution does not include the binders, but there are lessons here. So if you don't have the binders, there are still lessons for doing your reference papers, doing your binder papers, doing your operations, and doing your financial. It's not the same as the binders. It's not organizing them for reference, but it's additional things. So like in the medical binder, we talk about, and this is where I'm going to move the videos from the bathroom week. In the bathroom week, I show you how I do my pills and refill the kids' medicine cabinets. Those videos are going to come here into the medical binder. All of these sections this summer, was it this summer or last summer? I think it was this spring, so they were ready for this summer. I redid those. And now, of course, I don't have, I do have the 2.5-year planner. I redid all those videos if you've been in the Productive Home Solution and haven't looked at it. And I used the 2.5-year planner in all of the binders. And I went through and I told you how I'm using this as a household manager to make sure that, we have 2 dentist appointments per year, that the colonoscopy gets scheduled, that for household operations, I have like how often our water gets delivered for our water machine. For financial, I have when my property taxes are due and quarterly taxes are due, and other payments that do not happen on a regular basis. For household reference, I have in here when I need to change filters and change mostly filters and batteries and things like that. So every one of these sections, household reference, operations, medical, financial, have a couple of components. There are the actionable papers that would be in your Sunday basket or have ongoing needs, which would go in your 2.5-year planner. And I keep this in my Sunday basket. And then there are reference papers that would end up in the binder. If you have the paper solution, you bought the school supplies for your reference papers, then that is also unlocked, and we remind you to go over and do those videos as well. There are a few more things that I have added into the plan. It's a 52-week plan, so you're going to fill all the weeks, right? At the end of June and the beginning of July, which is where we are right now, is really a great reflection time. It's always been a great reflection time for me. That's where I put our Embrace conference. It's at the end of June. It is a replay, so that is available on demand. And then we do the Back to School Blitz, which we're currently doing right now. And then you reset for fall and you do a Sunday basket deep dive. These are the weeks that we're in right now. You may not realize it, and maybe it's not necessarily true to you, but as I just said, in this podcast by Eleanor Beaton and Brooke Castillo, they are both doing it. Productive women do this. They take some time in the summer and they reflect on what has happened in the year past, and they project out what they want to happen in the next year, and then they realign their environment and everything around them in order to manifest what is going to happen next. I have naturally done this even as a child. Like I just use a lot of June and July time to dream and think about what is next and then set myself up for achieving those goals. And then the last thing that we have in summer is this routines blitz. And, we are going to kick off with planning day at the end of August. But this is an on-demand course. Like you have access to everything that's already there. And as the new videos get created, you will have demand to all the new videos. So this is a great place to start. Like I would highly encourage everyone go do that routines blitz even before you get to the next planning day. It really walks through your morning, afternoon, and evening routines, and it's just going to make that planning day so much better and so much more robust. So like I said, everything in this focus area is in the productive home solution. All the videos are going to be in the productive home solution. The things that we're adding in the complete home organization bundle is all of the supplies that you would need to get these things all the way finished if Organize 365 has created something that makes it easier or faster. One of those is the paper solution. So the paper solution is the 4 basic binders that replaces your file cabinet. Another one is the Holiday Blitz bundle. This is normally on sale in the fall, so it's not on sale yet. And we've taken the inventory that we have and we've put it into this bundle so that you can start with a complete bundle for your year of transformation. This basket becomes your New Year basket when we do the Holiday Blitz, and the green becomes your holiday basket. And we label these 1.0 slash pockets for all the holidays that you celebrate in the last 6 weeks of the year. And then in January, this becomes your big event for 2026 basket, and this will become your financial basket. We have the Productive Home Solution Playbook. You will get 3 planning days, so all 3 planning days. Normally, you buy 1 planning day a la carte, and then you sign up for the subscription plan where you save 20% on each of the planning days. The savings is already baked into this price, so we have put in that savings. The 2.5-year planner that I talked about, the 2 books, we have Organization as a Learnable Skill. You also get the audiobook of that book in the Productive Home Solution. Organization as a Learnable Skill is the story of 2012, how I took back my house in the 12 months it took to do it and the emotions I went through as I did it. And the paper solution really walks you through how to do the paper solution binders and just gives you some of the backstory to that. And then, like I mentioned, the Embrace on-demand experience. And Embrace is like so hard to explain what Embrace is, but it really is an orchestrated musical. It really is, where I walk you through the transformation that we as women make when we truly embrace who we are uniquely gifted and created to be, and look at how we came to think about what our role as a household manager is. Like, how did we come to think about, you know, what we were supposed to do? And one of the things I talk about is I loved the show The Brady Bunch. I don't know if you ever watched The Brady Bunch. You know, man and woman get remarried, and he has 3 boys and she has 3 girls, and they get together, and together they're the Brady Bunch. And then in the middle of the squares, if you've ever watched it, comes Alice. Alice is the housekeeper. So I have seen every episode of the Brady Bunch. I watched it growing up all the time, and oh my goodness, I love the Brady Bunch. Like, Alice would come in with her grocery bags and she'd be emptying them, and someone would fall and Alice would go and get, you know, the wrap, and the kids would end up with the measles, and Alice would be bringing up the trays of food. And I mean, I just loved Alice. Alice was the housekeeper. I wasn't watching Carol Brady. I was watching Alice. Alice was my role model of who I wanted to be, the housekeeper. I wanted to be the housekeeper. So then after that show was over, then I started watching The Cosby Show. Oh my gosh, I love The Cosby Show. That was so cool because, you know, the wife and the husband worked. But yet I couldn't figure out how that worked because they didn't have somebody to clean their house. And you never watched them clean their house. Like, their house kind of was like magically clean. Like, you didn't even really see the kids do the work. Like, how did that house work? I don't understand how that house was supposed to work, right? Show that my husband and I still watch like pretty much nightly is Everybody Loves Raymond. So Everybody Loves Raymond is basically our house. So Raymond, the dad, comes in and like they're always ribbing him about how he doesn't do everything, and Deborah is always doing all of the work, and Ray is just trying to figure out how he can play more golf or do whatever, and they live next door to the grandparents. And that's probably the most realistic TV show I could see, but we don't have good realistic expectations of what our role as a household manager or someone who keeps home should be. And so the Embrace conference, I kind of really bring to light, like, who are you modeling your housework after? And you can choose anything you want. Like, you can pick anything you want. You don't have to model that after anyone. I want you to purposely look at all the options and then decide, like, oh yeah, I didn't really realize that I was modeling my life after the housekeeper or whatever. And like, why do I think that I need to do these things or those things? And you know, there's a lot that media is telling us about. He said, she said, you know, women do more work. Okay, great. And then men should do more. And in my house, my husband does do 50% of the work, but it's taken 10 years of like either I physically couldn't do it, so he had to step in, or he wanted it done more than I did, so I let him step in. Or I just frankly said, I'm not coming home for that, so I'm gonna need you to come in. And it's a constant conversation. So having that conversation of how do we manage our household? And he says to me the other day, he goes, to be honest, Lisa, you like being in charge of it. I was like, you're right, I do. I'm glad you noticed. So I love the weight and the responsibility of being the household manager and responsible for the things that happen inside of our household. But I do need to help my family to help so I could do the other things I'm also uniquely gifted and created to do. I think we can be uniquely gifted and created to do a lot of things. I think I'm a good wife and mother and grandmother and business owner and PhD student and. I don't think it has to be or. I think it can be and. But you need to really think through and prioritize those things. And research will show that your environment, your household, when set up for the phase of life that you are in right now, that is supportive, will need less maintenance and take less time, give you more peace, reduce your stress and anxiety, and give you the time you need for what you're uniquely gifted and created to do. When you're trying to run your household without all of these areas addressed, without thinking about how these areas can match your current phase of life, and trying to do all these other things, there's a lot of competition. But when you take some time, it doesn't have to be a ton of time, 3 to 5 hours a week. It's pathetic how much time I spend on Instagram. Trust me, I have 3 to 5 hours per week. We all do. We all do have this much time. And if you knew that 9 months or 12 months from now, if you put 3 to 5 hours a week into this thing, you would have a house that's perfectly organized for the phase of life you're in. It would totally be worth it. Can you imagine if you had done that a year ago and you're going into the fall and you're like, yep, everything's organized. I'm ready to go. Like Abby and I are talking about all the time. My daughter is pregnant all the time about the second baby coming and where the second baby is going to sleep and how we're making these modifications. And we're slowly changing our environment while she's pregnant so that when the new baby comes, this new baby is just going to magically work into our life. That is a natural time when you have a set deadline that you're going to change your environment when you have a child coming. Other than that, we never have this runway and this thought process about changing our environment to match our house. You need to change your environment to match a toddler, to match a kindergartner, to match middle schoolers, to match adult children, to match like you need to continually modify your household because your house probably won't change. Even if you move houses, the design of the house, okay, wow, you have a first floor master instead of an upstairs master. Like, other than that, the houses are houses are houses. They aren't like radically different. So the spaces, the size of the house, the number of rooms that you have, very similar throughout your lifetime. How you use those spaces, radically different. And the more you really embrace, I'm going to make these changes for the next 3 years because I'm in this phase of life versus, well, the resale value of the house, who cares? You're not, unless you're selling the house, it really doesn't matter. At this point, I look at Greg, I'm like, we've lived here 29 years. Are you really going to have me make any decisions whatsoever on resale value? We're going to live here forever. Like just keep modifying this house to match how we need it to function right now. And if we do sell it, then move it back, paint it, move the furniture around. Moving furniture and putting up gates and things like that really don't change the resale value of your house, but it can hugely change how your house functions. So I'm going to get ready to answer your questions here in a minute. Oh, good. Got a lot of questions. Go ahead and type all your questions in there. I'm going to get those. If you are watching the replay and you have any questions that have not been asked, or you ask questions and they're too specifically detailed to your scenario and not really global for the whole audience, I'm just going to ask you to email customer service because we had over 2,000 people register for this webinar. So I know I'm not going to be able to answer like super specific questions. Just email customer service. They love to answer all of your questions. Look up what you've gotten when you've gotten it. This is an ongoing program. When you sign up for the Productive Home Solution or you sign up for the Complete Home Organizing Bundle, you're going to have access to the course right away. We have 48 of the Complete Home Organizing Bundles that we could ship out on Monday. We have on order everything that we need to be able to have 350 total of you join us in the complete home organizing bundle by the time we hit planning day, and no more capacity beyond that. So when 350 people have joined the complete organizing bundle, we will have capacity for you to join the productive home solution, but there won't be any more complete home organizing bundles left. And that product is actually going to close until we get to the end of the year when we open up planning day again. So that is a limited time offer, which is unusual for us. I try so much at Organize 365 to be like, we can reply to you whenever you want. You could join at any time, but because there's so much physical product in this, we just don't have that capacity. We only have 350. Like I said, when we made the complete home organizing bundle, I took the paper solution and I took the productive home solution. Quick math. The paper solution plus the productive home solution is the cost of the complete home organizing bundle. So everything beyond that is a bonus. So that means that all 3 planning days and the holiday blitz bundle and embrace and the 2.5-year planner and the 2 books are all a bonus for getting the introductory price of the complete home organizing bundle. So if you want to get the productive home solution and the paper solution, you should get the complete home organizing bundle because you're going to get $1,000 worth of stuff free. So the complete home organizing bundle, normally $2,500, is a $500 savings versus buying everything a la carte. But right now we have introductory pricing, which is an additional $500 off. So the whole package is only $2,000. And we only have the capacity to do 350 of those. So if you're one of the first 48 people that order, your order will ship out on Monday. If you order after that, we're going to email you and let you know when your package will ship. It should all ship out by August 10th. But like I said, you're going to get immediate access online to everything that's in those packages. I'm going to say that. If I know people always say, is there a payment plan? We do not. We used to, but we don't have a payment plan. We're just not a financing department, but there are lots of ways in which you can create your own payment plan. One is if you use PayPal to check out, PayPal will offer you a 4-pay option, because I know we set that up on our end. When we went and looked at it, they're actually offering another option that I don't remember setting up. So it might just be your PayPal dependent. So if you look, it will give you some different options of how to spread that payment over time. I know when I purchase things on my US Bank credit card, there's always a place to like make that payment go over time. So you could do that too. The third way in which you could create your own payment plan is to just buy these products a la carte. So all together, in the bundle, there is a cost savings, but if you don't want to do it all at once, or you can't afford to do it all once to get the cost savings, then just buy them one at a time. So you buy the productive home solution with the planning day. I as well just have bought the complete home organizing bundle, but you know what I mean? Like you could buy the paper solution next summer when you're going to do the paper solution. Is there anything else I was supposed to say? Let me see if the team is noting me anything. Okay, they're saying I'm not seeing any notes directly to me. All right, so I am going to leave the recording on and I'm going to go ahead and answer the Q&As, but this is the end of the official recording. I'll put another lozenge in, and thank you so much for joining me for the webinar. And I really hope that you will join us in the Productive Home Solution this fall. And for those of you that are already in the Productive Home Solution, I cannot wait to create new content for you and hopefully take your organization even deeper. All right. All right. I am going to start with these questions. Okay, Carrie says, when I'm going through the full home organization plan again, I'm never sure if I'm watching new content or old content. Is there a way to tell, or is there a way to indicate what I've already watched? So that is what we are going to work on when we move this over into the course. I mean, everything that you've created, there's nothing old that's in the... I have videos that are really old, you guys. So anything that's in the course right now is not old content, like it's all current content. And when we move it over into the course format, then yes, you are going to be able to check things off again like you used to if you've been in it so long that 5 years ago you were able to do it when we had it on a different platform. How much do we do each week? And decluttering through productivity? So great question. There are 3 steps to getting organized. You start with decluttering, you move through organizing, and then you go to increasing productivity. That's just like a natural progression. Way back when, I used to say, go through the whole program and declutter, then go through the whole program and organize, and then go through the whole program and increase productivity. But that's when I was saying we could do this in 15 minutes a day. And in hindsight, I think that you can maintain these spaces in 15 minutes a day, but you cannot establish the decluttering and organizing that you need to in 15 minutes a day. So 15 minutes a day is almost 2 hours a week. Instead of just doing 15 minutes a day when you're learning the skill of organizing, I'm encouraging you to invest 3 to 5 hours per week, which is an additional hour and 15 minutes to 3 hours more than you would if you did 15 minutes a day. But that difference, that little bit more of time and intensity, is going to get you through the decluttering and organizing it into increasing productivity right away. So we don't have to separate that out. Again, how much time or day do you need to devote to this? 3 to 5 hours a week to establish it, 15 minutes a day to maintain it. Okay, I only recently purchased a productive home solution. Will there be a hard cutover so we won't be able to see the present course anymore, or will you be able to see both going forward? As I go through and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to stay in this, and it moves into the course, the old part will go away. Will there be holiday blitz bundles available for purchase this fall? I know you're short on the blue and green Sunday baskets. Great question. We are working on ordering them. If we purchase this before now, will we have access to this North Environment? Yes. Or will we need to purchase? No. No. Once you make a purchase with Organize 365 for a course, and I update the course, you get whatever I put into the course. Now, that doesn't include physical things. Like if you purchase the Productive Home Solution and I'm selling the complete home organizing bundle that has the physical supplies in it, you need to go buy the physical supplies. But as far as the course lessons, they are you're just gonna get them. Will there be a new playbook printed? No. Originally, that was the plan. I was going to create all these videos and we're going to create this massive playbook. And then I was like, if I did that, what would we use from printables between now and then? And so I realized that actually it's going to benefit everyone so much more if I just, as I create the printables, put them in the course and you print out 1 or 50, however many you need of them. So by the time I'm done, everything will end up in the course. I know, you guys. Stick around long. Every 3 years I change, right? Is the Sunday basket a completely separate thing than this? Yes, the Sunday basket is completely separate. What are the options for those of us in the UK? Currently, we are not doing anything international right now. It's not, you guys, look around. Not my fault. But even before Trump was president, it was getting really, really hard to do anything international. So right now, there is not an option for international. Although, I don't know how we would do this. How many team members are on my call? They're like, the Productive Home Solution without the playbook, I mean, access to the whole course, that's all digital. So email customer service, we'll see what we can do for that. Will we still be getting the 120-day plan printable for each season? No, this is going to replace that for this season. And then I'm thinking about what to do with that, because I created those last year to help you with having to go all the different places for all the different things. So not this time. Is the holiday blitz going to change, or is the bundle just getting included in the supplies? The bundle, so the holiday blitz is a free blitz. Anybody can sign up for the holiday blitz. It's a 5-day blitz where we walk through putting you back into the holidays and proactively planning what's in the holidays. In addition to that, we have sold the Hunter Green, the Sapphire Blue, and a 1.0 Slash Pocket in a blitz bundle in order to extend your Sunday basket through that season. And we also have a mini holiday blitz planning day, kind of like this, for planning the holiday blitz. The mini holiday blitz planning day, we definitely will have. I have another new product coming out with the holiday blitz, wink, wink. And we are working on getting more of the holiday blitz bundles for that. The date for the holiday blitz, I'm not sure the exact date, but it is the end of October. How to find mojo? I'm not your therapist. Okay, how to find mojo when it feels like there's not much respect from family members for all the work, including applied intelligence and skills. Does this make sense? It's hard to feel motivated when not really partnering in vision for home and lifestyle. It does make sense. And I think that's why I am kind of probably more vocal than my husband would like. Not that he's paying attention or following me. about, I'm kind of like dragging him along. Like, so the paper organizing retreat's going on out here, and they're like, so your husband really doesn't put anything in the Sunday basket? I'm like, nope. And he won't even talk about it. Like, he's like, let's not let Lisa's head get too big. Yeah, he's really just resistant. And I think that a lot of times, a lot of people are resistant to any professional development that you personally are going through. Like, organization is kind of like a personal professional development thing. Like, you can't want it for somebody else and nobody can want it for you. One of the things I think is great about this community and being in the app and the way that we experience this together is, yeah, you're likely not going to have family members like, yes, let's listen to another podcast, or what did Lisa say together? They're like, oh, Lisa's the 4-letter word around here, is more likely what you're going to get. But inside of the community, inside of the app, we're like, yes, I did that too. Can I see pictures of how you did that? So we kind of get that from our friends instead of from our family. Um, as you're up leveling the program, would you consider discussing what organizing would look like the first time through when you're getting your home organized versus when you go through later years? For example, I've been going through personal spaces twice, and I find it hard to figure out what to do the second time around because very little has changed in my life since the first time. Okay, great. So what I would say is you're done. If there's very little that's changed from the first time, you're done. So once you go through the productive home solution and you get your environment to match the phase of life you're in, it shouldn't take you very long to do these. Like, literally, when you look at the personal me month and you see closet, bathroom, bedroom, and books, you're going to get that done Labor Day weekend, like in the weekend, and you'll be done for the whole month of September. Usually what I do is I take 2 to 3 weeks and I do literally every single thing on this list. I will do the week before and the week after Labor Day. I'll just take those 2 weeks and I'll go through and I will do all of these things. Same the week of Christmas, and the next week I'll go through and I will do all of these things. And I usually hit all of these things. Actually, I go through my spaces, I buzz through all the family and communal spaces. I always reset my storage room. Like, I go through these spaces 3 times a year. When we have planning day the week before and the week after, I'm just, touching up these spaces, and maybe 5 to 10 hours total. And then I keep my binders updated. I take a couple of hours to do each binder throughout the year. You're done. That's a problem. It's really weird. It's really weird when you're done organizing because nobody's ever done. And you're like, but my closet's kind of good. Yes, you are done. You get to go do something else. We're just not used to fitting a finish line. Will you offer a holiday blitz discount for those of us who already own everything else except that? I mean, I don't know. So the way things are priced, like, if you already own everything except the holiday blitz, you probably didn't pay this much for these products. Like, products go up over time. You'll never end up paying more for Organized 365 if you buy early. So what I mean by that is, like, if you buy the complete home organizing bundle now, or even when it is not introductory offering, when it's a $500 savings, let's say next summer I come out with an offering that has some different package in it. If you look at all the things that are in that package and how much you paid, you didn't pay more than what I'm charging for it now. Like, the earlier you buy, the better, because I'm not going to sell it for less later. You see what I'm saying? So is there going to be a holiday blitz bundle sale? I don't know, but you didn't pay as much for the productive home solution as it's selling for now. See what I'm saying? Like, so you didn't pay more. Lisa, I'm finding that we are always traveling with family over Christmas and New Year's for the last 3 years. I am 53 years old and I have 2 adult boys. I don't really do traditional Christmas anymore. We love to travel together instead. So how can I best make use of the time lost? I miss the planning day around the end of the year every year. So is there something specific you think I should do before we leave? I do the replay, but it's not the same. I like live planning day. You know what I would say? What an awesome blessing it is to be with your adult kids for weeks of the holidays. Like, holy cow, who cares about live planning day, for crying out loud? Like, that is so amazingly awesome. You will look back on this time in your life and be like, do you remember those, whatever, 3, 5, 10, 15 years where we got to travel with the boys at the holidays? You will not be saying this 15, 20, 25 years from now. I mean, maybe you will be, but probably not. So I would just be like so excited and grateful for this time that you have with your real life in person family members, and just do the replay or get together with some friends and watch the replay together. So can't always have everything at the same time, but wow, what an awesome reason that you're missing the live planning day. Where do I get the routines blitz and when does it start? The routines blitz is already in the productive home solution. It's in the dashboard. How do you do this program if your house is totally cluttered? So if your house is totally cluttered, there are a couple of things you can do. Everyone's version of totally cluttered is debatable. Like you could say your house is totally cluttered and I would walk in and be like, this is not cluttered at all. Or you could say my house is pretty good and I could walk in and be like, holy cow, this is very cluttered. You know what I'm saying? Like, so cluttered is, what is that word? Relative. It's relative. But you're feeling like your house is really cluttered. So two things you could do. Number one, you can, instead of fast track this program, you can slow it down. And slow it down would look like doing each space for 2 weeks. So instead of taking 1 week per thing, you would take 2 weeks per. So let's go to this. Let's go to this one. This would be a great way to show you this. All right. So we're going to do the fall and you are going to make this take longer. So instead of trying to get your personal spaces done in 5 weeks, you're going to get your personal spaces done in 10 weeks. So I have 2 weeks for the closet. You're going to give yourself 4 weeks. 2 weeks for a bathroom, 2 weeks for a bedroom, and 2 weeks for books. And that's going to take you to the holiday blitz. Then you'll do the holiday blitz. And instead of picking your biggest storage area, I would have you pick like a medium or small storage area and spend 6 weeks on that storage area. So in that case, then you would end up at the end of December with your closet, bathroom, and bedroom organized and a small storage area. And if that's all you had organized, that would be like A+, huge winning. The first week, all I want you to do is figure out how much stuff can go, whether you're going to donate that or sell it or however you're going to get rid of it. The first week, all you're doing is getting rid of stuff. And the second week, you're going to watch the videos and try to get that section done. Now for the closet, you're going to end up with 4 weeks because we're already giving you 2 weeks. So 2 weeks of decluttering, 2 weeks to get the closet organized. Also, if you feel like your organizational muscles are really weak, maybe you never had organization to begin with, there are certified organizers that are certified in the productive home solution. So you may want to find some of those and actually have a virtual session with them so they can encourage you, motivate you, and move you through. Everyone can learn the skill of organizing. Everyone can learn the skill of organizing. You might need additional support. You might need to slow it down, but everyone can learn the skill of organizing. Okay. Along those lines, as a chronically ill woman, I find it difficult to get anything done over and above the weekly necessities like laundry. Any suggestions for the consistently fatigued? It was a long time ago when I did this podcast, and I don't remember what number it is, but I was doing virtual organizing at the time, and there was a woman in Germany that I worked with that was in your situation. And what we ended up doing was she had someone coming into the house to help her. And she cognitively could make a lot of decisions, just physically. She just had a hard time moving around and moving anything. So what we ended up doing was when this person came into the house to help, clean up a little bit, and I think she did move the laundry, we made a list of all the physical things that that person would do. Like this person would start the laundry before that person got there. So they would change the laundry, start the next load, and do whatever else she needed. And then they would move into her space. She was staying on like a hide-a-bed couch. They would move into her space a couple of boxes, like 2 or 3 boxes of paper to go through, and actually put all the laundry as it was done on the bed so that the person it was easier for them to move it. And so what I would say to you about that is the fatigue, again, just like the other story, maybe make the space take longer, but is there any way in which you can have someone be your hands for you? physically move things for you. Another way that I've done it, even here at the office, is like I will take pictures of my warehouse. So when I'm at my house, I'm looking and I can like count and think and see. So if you take your phone and you take pictures of your closet, if you take pictures of every drawer, and then when you're sitting and you're scrolling and you're like zooming in and you're making a list, like, okay, I see this drawer and I'm not with this drawer right now, but these are all the things I want to get rid of. These are all the things I want to move, and these are all the things I want to keep. Then when you get the energy to go to that drawer, now you've already made the decisions. It's just a matter of moving them. Even better if you could get somebody to come over and do the moving for you, and you've got the whole list right there. Excuse me. And this could be a high school kid. This could be someone getting service hours. So be creative. If you have a church, ask your church. If you're a part of any kind of a community organization, ask if anybody is looking for service hours. If you have a little bit of financial discretionary income that you could spend, what would you charge for that service? And then once you have that person there, just have a whole big long list of the things that they could do. I was an early adopter of your entire system. I started but never got the entire house organized. That's because we always started in the kitchen. As time went on, I was overwhelmed by the program changes and updates, and my life got messy, and I just stopped using all of it. My house needs organization, and I want to know if I could catch up from where I started in 2017. I invested a lot of money in the program. Thank you for the lifetime program. So I want to use it effectively. Please help. Yes. Blessing and curse of having a lifetime program. When I set up this program 10 years ago, the one thing I knew for sure was that being a household manager is a never ending, extremely unpredictable, hard job. And because it's unpredictable, you can have the best of intentions, but like if your kids need you, if your mom needs you, if your work needs you, whatever, like you have to deal with the human, right? You can't deal with your plan. And so that's why it's been a lifetime program, is because I want you to be able to get your house organized, and I know things are going to stop you from getting your house organized. With that said, a program that doesn't change or develop or grow is only as good as when it was made. I know more, you know more, and so I keep refining the program and making it better. If you think of it as school years of the Productive Home Solution and not a course you bought to do whenever you want to, it makes more sense. If you think it's a course I bought and it's just sitting over there and I could do it whenever I want to, and it's exactly what I bought, then it would be frustrating to see changes. But if you think that I've enrolled in the Productive Home Solution School in the class of 2017, but didn't graduate, and because I already made my investment, I'm allowed to continue to enroll, what's that called? Not Audible, but when you enroll in a class, but you're not there for the grade anymore. I'm allowed to continue to attend every subsequent year's classes to freshen up my skills or learn or keep up my skills. But the 2017 class, that's passed, and the 2018 and 2019, all those classes have gone and graduated and passed, but you're allowed to have membership into every single year going forward because you bought lifetime membership, not in the course, in the transformation. So if you look at it that way, then I think it makes more sense. It gives me the ability to continue to iterate and grow and make things better. And also gives you the like, oh, okay, so this year, this is how it's running. And this year, this is how it's running. So I still have access to it, but the teacher is continuing to grow and iterate and add in new things. How much do the products cost if purchased a la carte? You can see those in the store. The Productive Home Solution is $12.50. The paper solution is $750. You can't purchase the playbook a la carte. Planning day is $250. Embrace is $250. I don't know about the rest. I mean, I know, but I don't know exactly. When will the Holiday Blitz bundle be available? Right now, it is not going to be available. So I'm working on that. In the first video you released about these changes, you said smaller items like the monthly and weekly planning sheets were now free. Could you please explain what you meant? That was for the Sunday basket level up, and they're not free. There is an increase in the cost of the Sunday basket that covers those. So they're not free. That's over in the Sunday basket. Just go ahead and email customer service about that one. No, there is no code to enter at checkout. The $1,000 savings is the $2,000 is the $1,000 savings price, and that is for everyone. Okay. Sunday basket questions, just go ahead and email customer service. Did I hear you say the playbook will be a printable? Yes, it'll be a series of printables that are just going to be incorporated in the courses. Will Tanya still be doing the weekly live? Currently, yes. No, the current playbook is not available in a digital format. Patricia, that seems right. Go ahead and email customer service for the details. When is the mini holiday planning day? Mini holiday blitz plan? I don't know. I don't know yet. Guys always want these details. You're so good at details. It is going to be November 14th at 12 Eastern, November 14th. Karen Williams, yes, maybe. Email customer service and then listen to the team yell at me. Okay. Someone said, is the playbook going away and being integrated into the course? Yes, that is correct. Yes, the course is going to stay in the app, but there's a way to create a course inside of the app. So it's still going to be in the same place. It's just going to be able to be checked off. Please explain how the planning day subscriptions work. So the planning day, you sign up for the planning day, and we go through the planning day. It's a 4-hour live experience. It has a 6-week long replay. And then after the planning day is done, you are offered the opportunity to join a subscription plan. So the subscription plan will mail you a planning day workbook the month before the planning day and just automatically register you on and on and on until you cancel the subscription. And the subscription is a 20% savings over buying it a la carte. If you buy the complete home organization bundle, we will only mail you one of the planning day workbooks, and then the December and the May workbooks will be mailed to you just like a subscription plan, and then you could sign up for the subscription plan after that. Will this bundle be available at a later date or next year if we can't commit to it this year? Yes, it will be available in December. It will be a higher cost. Like, this is the introductory price, so it'll never be this low again. $2,500 will probably be the lowest it will be going forward. The idea of doing the storage areas at Christmas time between Christmas and New Year's is fantastic. It is too ferociously cold here to work in our unheated garage at that time, and you know it's brutally hot and humid. When would you? I'm not sure about that one. Yes, you may have a different lived experience than me in Ohio, and you may say, Lisa, we are not doing garages at that time, or we're not doing storage here, there. The energy of this plan will match 95% of you, but some of it won't. Where on the site can you find certified organizers? If you go to organize365.com and scroll to the bottom, really any page and scroll to the bottom, there is a pink button that says certified organizers. When you open that up, you can find the certified organizers, where they are and what they are certified in. Great. If you're wanting to level up the Sunday basket, email customer service. How can I use the Productive Home Solution as a single woman living with roommates and siblings? Two thoughts. Did you see? The thoughts went in my head. Did you see that just happen right there? Okay, number one, if you're a single woman living with roommates and siblings and you don't own a house, you might want to just do the launch program, because that's really going to organize, you know, it's going to move you from a childhood bedroom into an independent living situation. If you do own the house and you want to do the reference binder and the financial binder, or you're over the age of 35 and you're definitely into the adult years, then you're just not going to have all of the areas. You'll have most of the areas, though. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You will have most of these areas. Is there a program that is in the works for long-term planning? Long-term planning? You mean like a financial planner long-term plan? That would be no. I do have an estate program in the works. I don't know when I'll get that done. Okay, let me see if there are any others. Okay, there's an upgrade for the Sunday basket. There is not an upgrade for this. Is there anything we have to do to make sure we have all the products to match everyone else if we're already in the productive home solution? This is where you would just go through the supplies on the side. Like, are you in planning day? If you don't have the holiday blitz bundle, just when that comes out, make sure you get it because we'll have a limited supply. The paper solution, this 2.5 year planner is definitely something you're going to need when you go through all those paper books. And then embrace. So if you just look at the pictures and then look at what you have, that is what you would need to add on there. Okay, I don't think anything else is applicable to everyone. Okay, I think that is it. Thank you so much. As usual, if you have any questions, please email customer service at organize365.com. They'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope to see you inside of the Productive Home Solution or getting a complete home organizing bundle. Thanks, everyone.